I loved my college experience. It was an awesome, formative 4 years. But to be honest, like I always had this kind of weird understanding that even though I was having some of the best 4 years I could have ever imagined having, I always had in like the back of my mind the idea that one day this is going to be over, and it really kind of made me sad. Now, at first, as like a first semester freshman, you're not really thinking about that. But you get to your sophomore year, you get to your junior year, you get to your senior year, and you're really, and some of you, your super senior year and your super duper senior year, 6, 7 years in. But you become keenly aware that like this season is limited, that one day it's going to come to an end. And honestly, it made me sad because I loved that season of life. I loved my friends in college. I loved, getting to do college where I did. It was awesome. Had a great time at Clemson, but I was always sad because of the thought of thinking one day it's going to be over. And then you graduate college and you get into the quote real world. Well, when you're in the real world, you don't normally have summer breaks. You don't normally have those markers that show you the passage of season. You just have life. So spring turns to fall, fall turns to winter. I know spring turns to summer first, but you get the idea. It just kind of, life just rolls on. There's no really markers that tell you, hey, this season's almost over, until you have kids. Now, I've got a daughter that's about to turn 4. I've got another daughter that's about to turn 2, and my wife's about to give birth to our third child, a boy. And thinking about my daughter that's about to turn 4, or even my other daughter that's about to turn 2, it seems like just yesterday they were babies. Like it seems like just yesterday they were little babies that I could basically hold in the palm of my hand. They were 6 pounds when they were born. And all of a sudden, like I look at those pictures and then I look at them today and I'm like, when did that happen? Like it went by like that. And a part of me, I love watching them grow and I love being their dad. And in no way, shape, or form do I not want them to grow into these godly, strong women. I want that. Like, I want them to leave the nest. I want them to go and change the world. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's kind of sad. I mean, isn't it, for any of the parents out there who are watching this, like, isn't it a little sad? Like, it's mixed emotions. It's mixed emotions watching the passage of time and how quickly it goes by and all the seasons that just seem to go by in a blink of an eye. And I think the reason that some of us can feel this sadness is because there's a sense of knowing that, like, yes, these passages of time are good, but it's almost as if we were built to live forever, but yet we live in this finite world where nothing is forever, where death is a real thing, and all the stuff that causes, good seasons to end. We're just kind of look at that and we go, I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And the reason we think that that's not the way it's supposed to be is because that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it's supposed to be. See, when God created the world, death didn't exist. Death exists because sin came into the world because we sinned. And so the way that the original creation was intended to work was a place without death. But now death is a real thing. So that means those passages of time, those seasons are finite in an absolute way because our bodies are finite. Like our bodies wear out. Our bodies go back to dust. But see, when you look at the story of Jesus and you look at what Jesus came to do, he came to undo all of the sad things that we did by sinning. And one of those things is that Jesus came to give us everlasting life. That means a life without end. Now, that doesn't mean that when you trust in Jesus, you don't die. But what that does mean is that Jesus uses death to bring you to his side. You get to go be with him for eternity. And then one day he's going to split the sky open, come back to earth, give all of us brand new resurrected bodies. And those resurrected bodies will never end. They'll be everlasting. And that's a beautiful thing because that's what we really want, right? Let me read this to you. This is out of Luke chapter 1, verses 32 and 33. This is the angel Gabriel speaking to Mary, Jesus' mother. And Gabriel is telling Mary before Jesus is born what Jesus is going to be like. Verse 32. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David. Listen, 33 is key. And he will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end. And of his kingdom there will be no end. He will reign over the house of Jacob forever. So listen, Christian, I don't know if you're like me. Maybe you're completely unaware of the passage of time, and you're actually waiting for time to pass. That's okay. But maybe you're like me, and the idea that like these seasons are finite makes you sad. Like you know that the season you're in, you love the season you're in, and you know it's finite. And it kind of makes you sad. I want you to find hope. I want you to find excitement in the fact that one day Jesus is going to sit on his throne, and we're going to live with him forever. Forever. That means there is no finite. We will live. We'll be everlasting beings. That's something to look forward to. That's something to be excited about. And so anyway, I hope this was helpful on this Monday morning, and I'm sure I will see you here soon.